Should we do a chill video today? Let's do a chill video today. If you don't know yet, this month we're working on the Scorpio painting, which we started off by concepting, which is a video I've linked up here. And then we did a fun challenge last week to try and render it in a slightly different way, which I have linked up here now. Since this is the week before style study, I wanted to do a more chilled out paint with me vibe. Now, before you click away, I promise you will definitely learn something from today's video, especially if you struggle with taking a painting to a finished stage. Today we're going to finish up this painting and I'm going to talk you through the entire process of how I add extra details, fix any errors and magic it all up to create a painting that I would be proud of and would probably be more than happy selling prints of. As always, remember to like, subscribe, comment down below so this video can reach a lot more people and help a lot more people. Come say hello on social media, all of my links are down in the description below. Oh, and come join my Discord server because we're definitely doing something really fun for October. But yeah, grab a drink, grab a snack, and come paint with me. If you've missed the last couple of videos, this is the painting we're working on. It is the Light Scorpio piece and it is part of my Dark and Light astrology series, which I've been working on for a couple of years now. Should probably wrap it up soon. So, fun fact, I've been working on finding new ways to record time lapses so I can do more stable painting reels for IG and such, but I messed up the first clip and it recorded in 360p rather than 1080p like I wanted it to, but hey, you live and learn. But the very first thing I did for this piece was to approach it with fresh eyes. That meant sleeping over it for 3 days and coming back with a brand new state of mind. As you've probably experienced before, our eyes tend to get used to our paintings really quickly, and as a result, we can't see errors anymore. So going away and coming back later is kind of like deleting the cache memory, but for your brain. Immediately, I noticed that A, the anatomy of the arm on the side of the dog was completely off, and B, I really did not like the flat snake head. And also C, the background was too dark and we were losing silhouettes. I think this was my biggest issue throughout the painting process because I did want the background to be dark, but I also didn't want the snake, or the character's hair for that matter, to be light in color. So I definitely started by adding a touch of brightness to the background just in the areas around the silhouette. This does, of course, change again, but hey, it's all part of the process. I then toyed with the idea of super bright, saturated water, and for a time, this really felt like the way to go. It added so much dimension and brightness, and that tealy, minty green really popped. Which, by the way, I'm in love with this color, but here's the big issue with this. The color didn't make any story sense. Scorpio is fixed water and canonically water is blue, maybe with a touch of green deep in the surface, but there was an even bigger problem with this green. It was too pretty, to the point where it had quickly become the main point of focus. And for a painting like this one, which has a specific purpose, the water needed to be an accessory element, not the primary focal point. So as much as it broke my heart to do this, I had to dull down the color. And then my too much gene kicked in because that is how I cope with heartbreak. And I thought, hey, if the water looks this good with this bright blue, imagine how good it would look if I also painted bright electric blue clouds. So I did. I spent a good half-hour painting clouds in the background, which is on a layer underneath the character and snake, by the way. I could never do the one-layer painting challenge. Digital art has spoiled me silly. Also, does anyone else find it super therapeutic to paint clouds? I don't know why, there is something just so soothing about painting repetitive clouds that are also different from one another. I tried varying colors, I tried adding big and small shapes, and it was super fun. Until I zoomed out and remembered an old, infuriating lesson told by the ancient chiefs of the internet. It was time to kiss. Keep it simple, silly. So, in what was turning out to be a series of heartbreaks, I realized I had to get rid of the clouds. Just like with the bright green water, it was drawing too much attention. And you know what? Frustrating as it may seem to paint something and then delete it, I don't resent it at all because I really freaking enjoyed painting those clouds. So what if they don't end up in the final piece? I had fun and that's all that matters. Also, I tell myself to keep from crying in a fetal position in the corner. Oh, by the way, I also swapped the skeleton out for a solitary wave because it just wasn't feeling right. The bright colors of the skull were way too bright for our piece, and it was actually drawing away from the other bright pops of focus in the piece, like the character's skin and the eye of the snake. So anyway, I got rid of the clouds, but I definitely kept a bit of that bright blue mist around the silhouette of the character and the snake. Now, since we'd gotten rid of the skeleton and swapped it for a wave as an armrest, I thought, hey, why not replace his seat with a wave as well? That way he really looks like the water king that he actually is. So I gathered a ton of water references and decided to do a rolling barrel wave type deal for him to sit on. And oh my god, I love it so much. I don't much paint water because I always feel like it is so much effort, but now I'm kind of tempted to do it all the time. Is this character development? Congrats guys, you've witnessed it in 3D. Well, 2D because it's on a screen. But anyway, even with all this, we were still back to the same conundrum. How do you make dark elements stand out against a dark background? The only real way to do this is using a rim light. I started by giving the snake a red underbelly, which was an idea I got off a reference image. I used a textured chalk brush that's in my brush pack and added a bright red rim light on the underside. And pretty quickly that pushed it right out from the background. Then I considered doing a teal, green, yellow key light hitting everything from above just to really push the lighting, but it just looked like too much, as always. For a water sign, I wanted the details to be subtle and flowy, not sharp and rigid and loud. So instead, I took a soft airbrush and painted some light right at the silhouette edges, just where I wanted to draw a little more attention. And then I thought, hey, what if I hue shift it a little and see what happens? And oh my gosh, how cool does that purple look? So that is what I kept. Then, of course, the purple inspired some galaxy background elements. We had to have some stars and also some comets, which, by the way, was super fun to paint. I'm definitely painting way more comets going forward. I also gave the guy a little Scorpio tattoo on his hip, which is rather alluring in my opinion. And then it was time for some final edits. For one thing, I knew the piece needed a little bit of liquify action, and since the Critter Liquify transform is still clunky with 8K size images, which is what I paint, I had to take this to Photoshop. And since we were already here, I also used the Camera Raw filter in Photoshop because it is a much easier way to work with the colors than to individually filter the colors and brightness and such. Now it's looking way more vibrant and we can move on. Now, this is all well and good, but the painting was still missing a little magic, and stars and floating specks were just not cutting it for me. So I decided to paste in one of my absolute favorite photo textures and play with the blending modes until I found one that worked with our painting, which was the divide blending mode. Boom. Look how much movement that has added in. It almost feels like a psychedelic scene. Plus, it really works with the lore because Scorpius, the giant scorpion sent by Gaia, was eventually placed among the stars, so a starry, galaxy-looking background just works perfectly here. Finally, I fiddled around cleaning up any messy edges, any areas that needed more refinement, and here is the finished painting for Scorpio, the Indulgent. At At the end of the day, I guess there is no concrete way of knowing when a painting is 100% finished, but I do hope this video got you to 95% at the very least. Which of these finishing steps do you already do? Which ones are you eager to try? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video and learned something today, please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out so much. Come grab my brush kit and a bunch of extra rewards such as all of my art, the complete art and chill tutorial series, which is real time and like an hour long each, and also every single speed paint ever. It's all on my Patreon. I'll leave a link up here. Or if you just want to grab the brush kit, you can also check out my Gumroad shop, which I have linked up here now, and we can be brush mates. Say hi on social media. I have Instagram and Threads now, which I promise I'm going to start working on a little more in the future. Or just come join my Discord server because we have something really fun coming up for October. Alrighty guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're looking for even more tips on how to finish a painting, I have a video linked down here in the outro. It is a couple of years old, but I promise you'll definitely learn something from it. But with all of that said, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really hope you enjoyed it as much as I have, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!